Good evening, fellow punchers. An old saying, there's a first time for everything. This is the first time that I've done a video or two videos on the one day, but I want to get back into the routine of putting one up in the evening as opposed to a morning video. That was only for the week I was away to continue to make sure the bus was in motion, and back to school on Monday with the kids. I'm actually doing a new route. I'm very sorry to lose the one that I was on because I got really close to the kids, and I'm sure the parents will be disappointed as well because they were wanting me to be back. But such is the way you tender for things that a lower price from over in Ballina got it. Anyway, we'll be back to a routine from now on in the evenings. Just 20 to 7, Harrison Psychic has just after being beaten by a nose. I thought he had held on at a grand double with Agartha, 4-1 and 3-1 last night. And I had a good bet on Harrison Psych as well. Agartha won well, and I traded 9-2 in running coming up the stretch. I didn't think it was a difficulty at all. I don't know where that came out of, but Dream Casing, a lot to be left for that girlie in the saddle to learn yet. It's out again tomorrow. Sam James has declared supposed to be jocked up on it. It'll probably will run because it didn't lose a lot of energy today. I won't say any more. And I have a job for that our jester. It's under a cart down in Killarney. I think they call them Jarvis. That's the place for him. He's gone forever. And look at the horse that won it, Vina Victrix, that we backed twice in Kimpton, beaten by a nose and a head. And I thought the ground was just gone against it. Anyway, every day is a school day. Happy birthday to AP. I think that was on the 25th, which was yesterday, his birthday. Or maybe he was 25. I don't know. It looked like the 25th birthday. Gary Donlan from Longford. He was asked me, did I know his uncle Billy Garvin? Actually, Billy Garvin is down to play after the races in Roscommon next Monday evening, so I may get to see him. Maybe you should come, Gary, and see your uncle play. Morris Cliff on the bus, and John O'Brien and Kens. Shane Lowry, it's not the famous golfer from Offaly, it's Shane Lowry, the famous Tipperary man. Welcome aboard, Shane. Alex Anderson, recently on the bus. Darren Aylward, he bought a horse, several of them bought a horse, shared together, and he was looking for names. I hope maybe with all the selections that you may have got a clue. Let me know what you decide on. Kathleen Carey and Gary Smith and Tassin Dennis, newcomers on the bus. James Kennedy, Chris Hinsey and Ellie Hughes from North Wales. You're all very welcome. Noel Phelan and Ashley McLaughlin, Norman Whitehead, Maurice Buttimer, Brian Hart, Sue Pugh, you're very welcome. Mick Kinsella, Stuart Wilson and Joe McMahon in rainy Glasgow were the last to board. Before I go on to a couple of selections, I have a few awards to hand out on my travels. The Campervan Awards. The best night out was definitely the first night in the Dark Horse with Dermot O'Brien. Great character from Limerick. He came from Kilkee, left his holiday and went back to it the next morning. We had too many pints. God, he can murder them into him. There's no loss on his the way he can swallow them. We had a couple of songs. Great night. I had the breakfast in the same place the next morning. The best dinner was the roast beef Sunday I had in Aoife Jones's in Listowel. Really, really nice beef. And it wasn't like the beef we eat around here. It was just a different sizing. It was in several slices and really nice. The best dessert was Buckley's in Killarney, sherry trifle. And when I went back the second evening, that was on the Friday evening. When I went back on Saturday evening, I said it was your trifle that brought me back. So I had trifle the second evening, but there was a bit of a boo-boo made. There was a young fella, and it was his first day in dishing out the desserts, and he gave me jelly and ice cream. Now, he dickied it up well on top with custard and a bit of fresh cream and 2 strawberries, but when I harshed in the spoon into it anyway, I knew straight away that it was a bit soft. There was no sponge in it. But and as she wanted to, when I just explained to her, she asked me how it was, and I said, well, it was grand what I got. But I said, it wasn't what I asked for. So she said she wanted me to bring me out, and I said, no, for fear we get the young fella in trouble, to leave it be. The best coffee was in the Falcha restaurant in Killarney. And there's a different taste of it, and I asked them what it was, and she said that was something Roberts. Most people out there will know, I wouldn't, but I asked her where could you buy it, and she said she bought it directly from the factory or the supplier. The best roads were the motorways, plenty nowadays, but in Limerick and Kerry, great roads altogether. The worst roads, understandably, in rural Clare. The Corkscrew Hill, I done that from Listonverna to Ballyvaughan. I went both ways, and I got diesel in Ballyvaughan, and I turned and went back up again. For people that hasn't never been on the Corkscrew Hill, the turns are so bad you nearly see the back of your head when you're going around. It's a complete 180-degree turn. That's 3 or 4 of them there. But a good crack going up and down with the Campervan. I didn't meet too many, thanks be to God. It was a quiet evening. The best breakfast was in the coffee shop in Abbeyfield, and I had that on the Monday morning on my way from Listowel. It was €9, and there was plenty of coffee, and the grub was very, very nice. Lovely potatoes with it. The best pint was McHugh's in Liscannor. Most people say sure all pints of Guinness are the same. No, this was slightly different. It was seemed to be creamier and a different temperature on it. The best flat chat I had with a man on my travels, or a woman, but it was a man, it was Michael McCarthy. He knows his stuff. Actually, when I sent him a message last night, what did he fancy in the that sprint there this evening, the 6:35, and he said T-Spirit. I actually done a reverse forecast with the two of them, expecting him to be second, but he pipped me. I put him right last Sunday. We watched the races in the one that won for us in Ireland in the listed race. The best national hunt chat I had was with Sam Tarrant. He's from Listowel. By accident, we got chatting. I was plugging in my phone to run out of charger, brought in my charger into the races, and it was written on the comments, I couldn't get into them, that it was restricted mode. So I was trying to do it, but I'm not that savvy at the tech stuff. And he was sitting one side, and I just said to him, "You're handy at the phones," because I seen him tipping up and down with the fingers. And he said, "I'm not too bad." He tried his best, and he said, "You need a laptop," so I had to get a laptop to do it. But we had a great chat, and he's very involved in horses, and he's involved in the syndicate and that. Tremendous chat with him, and we've chatted since as well. And I'm really looking forward to having a pint with him sometime and getting more of his mindset. The best welcome I got was in John B. Keane's pub. When I walked in, Billy seen me within a couple of minutes, and he just says, "How are you doing? You're welcome. You have a bit of touch like myself," pointing it up here. And he has glasses similar to this. I only use these as reading glasses. I wear a lighter rimmed ones when I'm out and about or driving. And he got a bit of chicken and stuff for me, but I was after eating at the time. But it was a great welcome in Billy Keane's. The most, whatever here. Well, the worst breakfast was definitely in the Cliffs of Moher. It was way too expensive. It was 23 or 24 euros charged me for 2 cups of coffee. And the most disappointed I was anything that happened was I had, on the way down in Doyle on the first evening, I had a turkey dinner, but there was no stuffing with it. First time ever I had a turkey with no stuffing. I looked under the turkey, there was nothing there. I looked under the potatoes, there was nothing there. And I looked under the vegetables and there was nothing there. So either they forget it, and there was plenty of plaques up to say they were doing get awards for this, that and the other. The most expensive thing I saw was €14 for a shot of whiskey in the Doolin Hotel. And I think they said that was a 15-year-old bottle of whiskey or something. And I seen an Australian girl coming up, and she got 4 shots of other stuff there. It's €30 for the 4 of them. I got the campervan of Crack and Campers, that's CRAIC and Campers in Roscommon. They're great to deal with, Finian and Joe. They're in Roscommon town, so if you're ever needing of their services, they'll look after you well. Tomorrow, that was a good trip anyway, and the most generous was I met was TJ Kelly. He landed on his bicycle on the Sunday, and he sat in, it was like he was having a clinic, sat into the campervan and we had a chat. And on the Monday morning, he had landed with 2 coffees, and knocked on, I had the door open, and he gave me a coffee. It was great to see, great and generous. And I'll see you again, hopefully, TJ or Tom, at the races. I intend to go to Listowel for the Friday and Saturday. Now, tomorrow, Wise Eagle is out tomorrow. It's in the 620 at Redcar. He won for us the other day. He won with his head in his chest. He's 6-4 favourite. Could do a double with him with Cairo in the first race. That ran, looked a surefire winner. When it ran first time out, when it learned how to do things, it picked up nicely. That was over 6. It's up to a mile. The second favourite, the Forum of the third horse, didn't do any good, I thought, since. So I thought that a double there, the 2 of them are 6-4. Then the 305 at the Curragh, Warrior Brave, trained by Ross O'Sullivan. It was bought for 100,000 last July out of Mick Appleby's yard in England, after winning 3 out of 7 starts for him. Just ran once last year then before they put it away for the winter. It was down the field in race 1 by Big Gossay. First run this year was in the Woodland Stakes. It was 4th to Romantic Proposal, but it was only beat 2 1/4 lengths. It was 3rd to Prisoner's Dilemma before down the field. They sent it over to the Wokingham, so they think a lot of it, as you'd expect when they give it 100,000 for a horse. The last run, it was 3rd to Prisoner's Dilemma. It's rated 98. Colin Keane is riding. Colin, get the finger out and get into the photograph. The favourite is a horse of O'Brien's, but it hasn't ran for a while. It ran a listed race in York. I just think this at 5-2 might be better than the other one at 2-1. And then the big handicap race tomorrow is the Cambridgeshire, the Irish Cambridgeshire. There's 28 declared. It's a mile. I'm going for one from either side of the draw. Number 26, that's Just Dandy for Jessica Harrington. It's rated 81, and Nathan Cross takes off £3, bringing it down to, he'll be carrying 8 stone 4. Cowboy Justice from the same yard carries 9 stone, a difference of £10. But when they met earlier this year in Killarney, there was only £1 between them. So, and Cowboy Justice won by 2 lengths. Cowboy Justice is a 6-1 favourite, and this one is 20-1. So I thought with being drawn in 7, they're paying 7 places at 20-1, could have a pint each way, and that's Just Dandy. And on the other side of the draw, then the top weight is Casanova for Aidan McGuinness. When it left John Gosden's yard last in November 2019, it was rated 96. It didn't run for any of 2020, I think. It won 2 of 79 and 92. It was 4th in the Lincoln in March. It was 2nd in Galway in a big handicap. And it was 1.5 lengths ahead of Cowboy Justice as well. And that's the angle I took, that these are better value. This is 25-1. Adam Caffrey is riding it well. It's 25-1. It's drawn 19. So I've won on either side. The Beverly Bullet is on tomorrow. I was going to go for Corker, but I see it's a 3-year-old, and a 3-year-old hasn't won it for a few years. I don't think in a good while. 9-2. Maybe that could be one. Anyway, I'm rattling on. This is going to take ages to put up. Anyway, thanks everyone. There's a lot of likes lately, and it must be doing the trick. There's a few pound going in every day into the thing. I believe it's the ads that you listen to that you get money for as well. Like, and the subscriptions are up over, I didn't mention it in about 3 weeks, they're up over 1,900 now, we're heading for 2,000. So any of you that hasn't subscribed, down here somewhere, here, yeah, press that button. Over and out, bash the bookies.